Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. This is a good one. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you guys very much. I'm very humbled. So, you know something no one's talked about yet? What happened to that piruja? What happened to Jake Haros' sister? Voila! She just disappeared. She just went away. It's funny that, we're talking about the disappearance of a woman who still may be or may not be alive, but she chose to distance herself and disappear in the wind. She don't want no part of this, no part of this situation with her brother. The same brother she was protecting. Oh, no, he would never do it. We haven't ate all night. Bitch, shut up, right? Straight up. When this incident took place, when this first report was taken of the kidnapping of baby Manuel, right? When Rebecca Harrow chose to get off her fat ass and go in front of Big Five Sporting Goods, and I know that took a lot out of her. People that got sores on their ass from the couch, right? Never want to get up, but she chose to go in front of cameras and Big Five Sporting Goods and snivel her way into a lie, right? Well, the next day, all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. All of a sudden, social media woke the fuck up. Social media got off their ass and said, hey, hell nah. That chick's black eye is at least 2 to 3 weeks old. Her husband did not shed any tears. And let's go look into Jake Haros' past. Ooh, wee! He beat up his 10-week-old child. This man is up to no good, right? This woman is up to no good as well. You know what I'm saying? They weren't weller to wellest. They were badder than baddest, right? These were two sick individuals. And to come up with a stupid ass story like some guy said hola and did that, like, come on, man. You could play us for a fool, but not for Boo Boo the fool, right? Nobody believed it. And of course, we were all right. Exactly what a lot of us were thinking, but not voicing happened. It came to fruition that these people literally killed their child and threw him in the trash. Kind of sick motherfuckers do that. Rebecca and Jake Harrow will, right? So the next day, some piruja pops up on Instagram, right? And she looks disheveled. She looks beat up herself. She looks not malnutrition, but overtritioned, right? She looks like she's a corn puff away from being that one. And she's sitting there and she comes to be that it's Jake Harrow's sister. Now, I did an interview with the best friend or a great friend of Hector Harrow, which is Jake Harrow's brother, his older brother that passed away in 2021. And he did mention the sister. I am trying to get a hold of the homie for a part 2 because we're going to go deeper and more in depth into that memorial that they went to. I think some questions were unanswered that I want to get to. And I could understand the homeboy in that situation just wanted to distance his homie from what Jake has going on. But he did mention Jake Harrow's sister. So we do know, in fact, that was or a woman portraying Jake Harrow's sister. I don't think I've seen anyone do any background on her and see what she has been into, because I don't think anybody knows her name, but we'll find out. Most definitely. Social media is very powerful. It's undefeated, and everyone's going to find out. And of course, I'm going to take the initiative to go ahead and find that out. But she has disappeared. See, the day after this alleged kidnapping took place, which we know was false and fake, right? Because they've been charged with false information to police officers, false stories. And she took to social media and did like a 5 or 6 minute spiel, giving you guys and giving myself an update on what was going on in the Harrow household. She expressed that her brother would never do anything to a child. Well, no one ever asked you, bitch, would your brother do anything to a child? Okay, why you volunteered that information, that's kind of mysterious right there. How no one had ate in the house and everybody was so concerned. And she started speaking about baby Manuel in the past tense. And a lot of people keyed in on that. And she started defending her brother to the fullest. But here's my question. This is my head scratcher when it comes to Jake Haros' sister, right? And I get it. Your family, when you have brothers or sisters, man, they're going to rock with you no matter what. No can do. No siree. Because if my brother, I don't even want to put that on my brother. He'll fuck around and be like, what? Right? But anyone in my family, any of my siblings do anything like this to their children or are under suspicion, I'm going to distance myself for a little bit. I'm going to be like, did you do that shit? Did you do that shit? Let me know, right? And I'm gonna ask them point blank. I'm the older brother, so I'm really gonna be on them like, what's happening, right? Because man, we ain't like that out here in these streets. This chick was defending her brother and Rebecca to the fullest. But the head scratcher here is my brother would never do anything to a child. He loves baby Emmanuel. He loves Emmanuel, his son. Saying we want my nephew back, please, whoever took him, all this, and that. She elaborated on the story. So I believe because she was elaborating on the story, she should also be charged with false information to the police because she was taking it as pura and running with it and throwing it out there like, no, this is what they said. This is what happened. Like it was concrete, like this was real, right? Stupid ass chick, right? You taking what Rebecca said, like, come on, man. You know what's been going on in that household. Rebecca been having that black eye. You should have been the first one to be like, hey, where the fuck is my nephew at? What the hell's going on here? If that was even your nephew, right? It seems like this family didn't seem as concerned as the rest of us. Complete strangers, more concerned with the disappearance and where baby Emmanuel is more so than the family. But the thing that struck me the craziest with the sister, right, was the fact that she went on there saying, my brother would never hurt a baby. He would never do this. We're so distraught. We haven't eaten all night. We haven't slept. Bitch, it looks like off the dope you haven't slept in 4 or 5 days, but I digress, right? But this was her excuse for not sleeping. I think it has to do with an amphetamine. But anyways, we haven't slept. We haven't ate. Of course you haven't ate, but I'm sure you drank a gang of fucking Mountain Dew, right? Those that know what's up, what's up. There's a wood in there like, this motherfucker knows, brother. Yeah, this fucking brother knows. We don't eat for 7 days, but we sure drink about 4 quarts of Mountain Dew, right? This chick sits there and says her brother would never do this. Where were your antennas at, dummy, when your brother already did this to promise? Where were your antennas when your brother has already been convicted of willful cruelty to a child on his 10-week-old daughter, ex-daughter? Thank God. Where's your antennas? What about that? What do you mean your brother would never do anything like that? Hey, bitch, he already did. See, it seems like that family, specifically her, because I'm focused more so on her than anyone right now, to say that, oh, my brother's a great father. He's a good man. He wouldn't do this. We're all concerned. This kidnapping happened. Just please help us, help us, help us. Fuck helping you. Help yourselves, right? We're going to help baby Manuel. We're not going to help Jake and Rebecca. I wasn't trying to help Jake and Rebecca from the gate. I knew I was like, man, I'm trying to help get them convicted. Fuck them, right? But please help my family. Why wasn't your family helping Promise? Why didn't your family help the children in that household, man, that were watching the spousal abuse go on, the domestic violence? Why wasn't your antennas up when Jake did that to Promise? Wouldn't you be a little upset with what he did, unless you believed his bullshit ass story that Vanessa Avina was actually the one that hurt his child? I believe she's just in the same seat as Rebecca. They hurt that child together. And I'm so happy that Promise is out of that situation. But it's very unfortunate the fucking situation she was left in. Jake was left in a perfect position. He was left in a position of a fucking a home, children around him, a new wife, cars, people taking care of him. I got another video coming up on Jake tomorrow, man. I've done an extensive background on his history, and he went through some things himself, but that'll never justify hurting a kid. People always say, well, that's the way I grew up. Bitch, I don't give a fuck how you grew up, homie. You were supposed to be a responsible parent. You were supposed to bring home the bacon. You were supposed to make sure that child is clothed and fed and loved, even more so than that. I've seen some women out there, single mothers, that don't have much food in their home. Their home is not the greatest house, but it's clean. Their children are clean. Their children are fed before they are fed. I got a baby mom, man, that sometimes I see her in the same clothes all the time. She don't never, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't have too much but my daughter always has brand new. She always has new shoes, new clothes. I participate like a motherfucker in that as well. But sometimes I feel sorry for the mother because I know she's a single mother going through her things, but she's a woman that's willing to make sacrifices for the children. And she will be rewarded in the end. People like myself see that and respect the fuck out of it. Okay, that's just the facts. I respect women or men like myself that are single and just have our children and are trying to raise them the best way we can. I respect it. I get a lot of help. I get a help from my family. They help me, right? But that doesn't mean that I don't go out there and get the bacon and put in the work and do everything I have to do for my children first and foremost. Believe me, I don't got all these shoes and my kid only has one pair. She has as much as I do, both of them, right? If not more. But all I'm saying is this sister was quick to say, hey, Jake is this and he's that. Meanwhile, he's already convicted of beating on a child. Why the fuck would you? I don't care if it's my brother, my sister, anybody in the world. I am not protecting their name, their good name. I would have been the first one like, hell no. But she was quick to take to social media and immediately after people went, see, I don't know what she expected. I don't know if she was like, hey, don't worry. I'm going to fucking double down on your guys' story and make it look good. Because we had Jake saying, oh, this is what my wife told me. Of course, the perfect setup. And then you had Rebecca, like the tonta she is, right? Going out there reciting this story that I'm sure Jake came up with, or she did, because I'm still not convinced that Jake is guilty of the actual murder. I actually believe myself wholeheartedly. Something's just telling me in the back of my head that Rebecca is more guilty than she seems, right? But I digress because I don't know and I don't want to fucking impede an investigation. Let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be surprised if we find out later that Rebecca was actually the one that unalived baby Emmanuel. And fuck you if you did that, right? You and Jake for what he did to Promise. He gets no pass. He gets no pass. He'll never get a pass when it comes to me. I don't give him pass. That dude did what he did to his daughter. But his sister knew this. She gave up this story and said this story because this was going to help make it look good. If it's coming from an outside source rather than Rebecca and Jake, then maybe more people would believe it. Or maybe this is just, she's so stupid. This is just what she was told and she was believing it. But how can you believe a family member that's already been convicted? Like, why aren't you upset? Why did this family forgive this man for what he did to Promise? This is an unforgivable situation. You can never forgive. Promise has to deal with their situations every day. And those fucking angels of the people that are raising her and supporting her real parents, they have to deal with that stuff every day. Why should Jake get a pass from his family, from his friends, from anyone? What type of men were going over there and kicking it with this dude? What type of friends did he have that was supporting that, knowing damn well that this Vato did this shit to his daughter? You guys are weirdos, man. Anyone that was supporting that dude on any level should have been like, hey, that fool should have been ostracized. That fool should have been outcasted. That fool shouldn't have been walking them streets. He shouldn't have been out there like that. I know this, man. If there's anyone from my neighborhood where I grew up, and I'm not saying on a gangbanging tip, I'm just saying the neighborhood I grew up in. If that fool was convicted of something with children, he would not be around at all. At all. Something bad would have been done happened to him. He would have tripped, fell, and landed on someone's dick. I'm telling you guys right now, motherfuckers don't play. Everyone would have been knowing about it. Okay? When your own family member, when you give them a pass, like, oh, you just made a mistake. Beating a child is not a mistake. Dropping a child is not a mistake. These people, it's funny because now he's accused of doing it again. If people like Jake Haros' sister, instead of going with his story and trying to protect her stupid ass brother, was a good tia, a good aunt, and said, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers did something tricky. If she would have did that quite possibly, I mean, it doesn't, I believe baby Emmanuel was already dead at that point, but still it could have changed something. But instead, she sits there with her baby in her arms. Why would you have your baby in the same house as Jake? Explain that to me. Okay, maybe you didn't do something for your niece. Maybe you didn't do something for Promise. That's not understandable, but I understand, right? Maybe you didn't. But why the fuck would you have your baby in a house with people that can't even control what they got going on with a brother that's already beaten your niece? Make that make sense. It doesn't. And in doing so, what did she do? She immediately took down her post and has disappeared. She's no longer claiming that her brother is innocent. Where is she at for interviews? She has stepped away and got the hell away from there. Why? Because she doesn't want to be caught up in her brother's bullshit. But bitch, you were quick. to voice your opinion in defense of your brother and Rebecca, keep that same energy. Now, all of us, what has changed now? Now, because a whole bunch of law enforcement and social media people like myself on the Tira, Dubs, and all these different guys, Dolly Vision, all these people are saying, hey, these motherfuckers are guilty now that they've made national news. Now you don't want, your name's Bennett and you don't want to be a Bennett. Now, all of a sudden, Jake Haros' sister has disappeared. The Disappearing Act. But you were all up in that dirty ass pad, and I've seen the inside of that pad. It was not up to par. The cleanliness wasn't next to godliness, right? You were right there in that pad with your kid in your arms, knowing your brother is a convicted child abuser. You know his wife stays getting beat on and will do anything he says to do. And you're going to sit there and double down on their bullshit ass story that your nephew is missing. Oh, we're so concerned we haven't ate. Fuck eating and staying in the house and giving interviews or going on social media. Why don't you get your ass out there and look for your nephew? What were you guys doing in this house? Oh, we're just trying. We're very concerned. You guys didn't seem concerned. Your whole family is. I'm alarmed and concerned for you. I'm concerned for any sibling that would take her child around an uncle who is convicted of child abuse. We don't even know what else he's done in that household because we weren't the cucarachas on the ground nor the wall, which I'm sure they had several of them, right? The gist of this content is to say this chick all of a sudden has disappeared and she is no longer. I try to reach out, try to find her. Where's she at? What's her name? What's going on with Jake Haros' sister? I'm going to tell you what's going on. She distanced herself all of a sudden. And why? Not because she doesn't believe Jake and Rebecca now, not because she doesn't kick it with her brother all the time and love her brother. Look, you're always going to love your family. Blood is way thicker than water, right? You're supposed to back your family up no matter what. But guess what? Baby Emmanuel was your nephew. He's also your family, and the kids mean more than a grown adult. You know, I once asked my parents, you know what I'm saying, why do you show so much love to the grandkids more so than us? And my mom said, well, I love you guys to forever, my brothers and sisters, but I love my grandkids way more. Plus, it's a bonus for the grandparents. They could play with them, go have a good time, and then here, go back with your parents. You guys got to do the work, right? But it's unfortunate that people like Jake and Rebecca weren't doing that. They were too busy probably fucking and fighting, right? This ain't the movie fucking Felon. You want to fuck or fight? You're not Val Kilmer, right? They were too busy in there Netflixing and chilling and mething. They were mething around in there. Meanwhile, there's babies, a 2-year-old little girl, which I'm so happy the CPS took her. That right there is you got to key in on shit, right? See, I've been through the whole situations with family courts and kids being taken and all. I've been around, right? Riddle me this. Usually, in them types of situations, when a child is removed from the home, the people that have the first action are the grandparents or the immediate family. Jake's brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? Rebecca's brothers and sisters. So where is his sister was quick to defend a monster, both of them. Quick to put shit out on social media. Oh, my brother, we're so distraught. If you're so distraught, why is that 2-year-old still in the system? The 2-year-old little girl that was removed from the home. Why didn't you step up, Mrs. Thea, that cares so much, and go get that baby and say, you know what, I'm taking her to my house. Don't worry. She's not going to be around Jake. She's not going to be around Rebecca. I got this. This is my family. Wouldn't you want to keep your family together? It always blows my mind, these people that let their fucking nephews and nieces and kids be caught up in the system. Like it's cool in the system. Like we don't know the system's not all fucked up, right? I'm just speaking real here. Those that rock with me, give me a hell yeah. I'm serious. You know, if you're new to my channel, this is what time I'm on right now. But I'm saying this, and also, man, if you're really down with the channel, go to the membership. Subscribe to the membership. That helps my channel out a lot. Does it help me out monetarily? Absolutely. It puts $5 in my pocket so my kids can eat. But even more so than that, man, I'm going to start dropping some jewels behind the scenes for you. That's a promise. Promise, I promise, right? But I'm just wondering why she just disappeared. She has not contacted the CPS and went and got that baby. She doesn't care anymore. She disappeared. Why? Because she don't want to get caught up in the situation. She don't want to be drugged through the mud. Bitch, there's a whole lot of mud over here, and the gunner's going to get to drugging, right? Come over here. You're not just going to disappear when you were quick to cover for them and elaborate on their story and try to make it look like this really happened to baby Manuel, when the truth is you probably already knew the truth and you were covering it up. At least that's what I think. Why would you have your child in that house with your brother? Why would you allow your brother to be around children, period, knowing the way he is or what he's done? I think she's went through some shit. I think in fact, I know they've went through some shit, and I'm going to explain it tomorrow in my video. But hey, for anyone who's out there, this ain't the Twilight Zone. This is the Gunner Zone. And we're looking for Jake Haros' sister because she has conveniently disappeared. Should she be charged for lying as well? Or should she be charged by the people of the streets and saying, fuck's wrong with you, you weirdo? With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people, man. And I hope baby Emmanuel is in God's arms right now, man. Definitely not in his Theas. One could only wonder what her baby's going to go through. Ooh-wee.